Presidential frontrunners in Tuesday's general election in Kenya, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and Deputy President William Ruto have called on their supporters to maintain peace and be patient as the country awaits the final results of the hotly contested race. Speaking during separate church services in the capital, Nairobi, both Ruto and Odinga say Kenyans should give the Electoral Commission time to tally the results. Millions of Kenyans went on to the polls on Tuesday to elect a president, representatives to the National Assembly, the Senate, the County Assembly and a governor. Media tallies showed that Ruto had a slight lead over Odinga, but there was still no word from the Electoral Commission. Sarah Kimani has more.
After a grueling campaign period, it was time to cool off for the two main presidential contenders. While Odinga chose a church in his Nairobi neighborhood, Ruto opted to stay indoors and use a chapel within his official residence. Odinga addressed the Anglican Church faithful, pleading to be a peace ambassador.
We want to thank the Lord for having brought us so far. We've gone through a very challenging period in our country, going through election campaigns, but we also want to thank the Lord that the campaigns have been peaceful. And the elections also have been peaceful so far. And we just want to hope that this peace will prevail even after the elections are over.
Ruto also urged for patience.
I want to request and ask all of us as the people of Kenya to be patient with the processes that are going on at the moment, and to pray for the electoral IEBC so that they can complete this exercise in the manner in which we have voted. We've had a peaceful election moment. We've voted peacefully. We have gone through this process peacefully. And it's my prayer that we end this process peacefully.
At the National Tallying Center, security was heightened as the tallying neared its tail end, as anxious Kenyans kept vigil.
The law gives the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission 7 days to declare the result of presidential election. 7 days are not over. Kenyans need to learn to be patient, and they need to learn to go with the law because it is their law.
Results are expected on Monday, a day short of that 7-day deadline. Sarah Kimani, SABC News, Kenya.
Conflict resolution expert Dr. Mustafa Yusuf Ali is the chairperson of the Horn International Institute for Strategic Studies. He joins us now to talk about the latest on the election results and outcome. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us, Dr. Ali.
Thank you for having me, and good evening.
Just share with us what the official word is, and I know the IEBC has said it's going to hold off on giving out results for some time, but I just want to understand the discrepancy, and it's not just what various media are reporting, but I want to look at what we've been saying all along, that Raila Odinga is ahead of William Ruto, and even the margins of what has been reported are just so disparate. I mean, I'm looking at what the results we're being told now are, that William Ruto is ahead by 51%, Raila Odinga trailing at 48%. But some of the reports were saying that Raila Odinga was ahead by more than 54% and Ruto by 45%, some saying 48%. What accounts for this gross discrepancy?
Well, if you follow the official result, there's really no gross discrepancy. What is circulating a lot, and this is what many people are following, the fake news, including deep fakes, all over the social media. And this is what has confused the situation. At some point, even the international media were actually, taking their source from the fake news sites. And that is what has really been happening since the counting and tallying started. What you have from the official side of the IEBC is that this is still a very tight race between Raila Odinga and William Ruto.
And I actually noticed on the IEBC site, what it gives you is the counting of the forms and the various constituencies and how much has been counted in those various counties. In terms of the information that you have, official information, and you correct me if you're wrong, there are 291 preliminary constituencies that have been counted so far. What is the total number that you're hearing in terms of the counting?
Well, if you look at what the IEBC has already declared in terms of the members of parliament, again, both coalitions, the Azimio coalition and the Kenya Kwanza coalitions, are a neck on neck. There's only a difference of 2-3 seats that Azimio coalition is leading in parliament. But that does not mean anything in the presidential race. The law here in Kenya dictates that the president-elect has to win 50% of the votes plus one. And we will really get to know who is the president-elect perhaps tomorrow at 3 p.m. when the IEBC declares who the winner of the presidential election has been in this race.
What are your predictions, if I may ask?
Oh, I don't have any predictions at this moment. If we were to go by the polls, which clearly were off the mark based on the preliminary results that have come, it is very difficult at this point in time to predict who is going to win the presidency.
So it is my understanding that the IEBC has up until Tuesday to announce the final results, and the courts are obviously there for any objections that would be raised or could be raised. What is the margin of time then? Should there be objections to what the IEBC says is the final result? Do they have up until Tuesday, as in, does it include the court processes, or would that then be prolonged further?
Well, by law, IEBC has until Tuesday to declare who the winner is. And then if there will be any contestation as to who the winner is by anyone, including the presidential, the opponents, the law provides for a recourse to go to the courts of law, and that has to be filed within 21 days. In which case, then the Supreme Court is going to hear and provide and give the verdict as they did in 2017.
So the transition period or the transition process that we're told is being enacted. Can you expand a little bit more about what has been done to pave the way forward for a peaceful transition, a handover of power from Uhuru Kenyatta to his successor, whomever that is?
The law provides for very clear procedures to be followed once the IEBC declares who the president-elect is going to be. There is an office assumption committee, which is made up of senior government officials from various ministries, that including the security agencies, that is going to ensure that whoever is declared by IEBC is actually now given the full support, and all preparations are done in accordance with the law in preparation for the swearing in of the incoming president. And all these, if the IEBC is going to declare and there will be no, and there will be concession, the opposition or the opponent is going to concede defeat, then this should be done pretty quickly. You know, within days, actually, we should be seeing a new president being sworn in. But if it's going to go through the courts of law, the Supreme Court, then we are not going to see a new president being sworn in Perhaps depending again on how the Supreme Court is going to rule. If the Supreme Court is going to nullify the elections as it did in 2017, then we are looking at another several months of preparations for the runoff before a new president is elected and sworn in. So we are looking at not less than 3 months. But again, if a winner is going to be declared and there is not going to be any opposition or objection, we will see a new president being sworn in within days.
So I want to look at what could possibly the first order of business be for the Senate, for the National Assembly, through the balance of power. What would be the wrangling be over if we're talking about moving Kenya forward? Obviously, the socio-economic issues have been pressing for a lot of the electorate. What do you foresee as being the first order of day for those in office beyond the leaders, the National Assembly and the Senate?
Yeah, the leaders that are coming in really have their hands full, from the president, whoever that is going to be, to parliament, the governors, the members of local wards called the MCS. First of all, the president who is going to take over is going to inherit an economy that has been affected by the global downturn. Global downturn. The economy is pretty bad, very high inflation rates witnessed in Kenya, as it is in many other countries. The incoming is going to deal with very high youth unemployment, and there are expectations. Both Azimio and Kenya Kwanza had promised the young people jobs, funds to cushion poor families from biting and debilitating poverty. All these are going to be on the table of whoever is going to win. And it is going to be very difficult given the global economic situation. The members of parliament will have to do the same, to enact laws that are going to help in better governance and delivering what their various manifestos have been saying. It's not going to be an easy ride. It's going to be very hard few months for whoever comes in and take over power in Kenya.
Professor, thank you so